Hi, I'm Melissa, and this is the Book Break. And today I'm really excited to talk about a new set of books called Balancing Screen Time for Families. Let's bring in the author, Elizabeth Densley.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Oh, your middle name, I missed it, is Ernst. Elizabeth Ernst Densley.
Got it.
All right. So, let's bring up the images first, because first of all, these are bright, fun books. And this is giving us the tips and tricks to instill a healthy relationship with devices. Now, this I feel is a topic that so many families struggle with. Elizabeth, will you give us some more insight on what kind of tips and tricks you talk about in these books?
Well, you know what? They're simpler than it seems. And they also give you tips. We also give you tips on just doing things like becoming aware of each other and how each other think, because we just assume everybody thinks like we do, but they don't. And so then we have that conflict because nobody really understands what they're trying to say to each other. So we learn about each other, like personality styles and love languages, etc., which makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And, something that I find very interesting is that you have such an incredible background. I mean, you're a nurse. You were a neonatal nurse, which, for those that don't know, means she saved little itty bitty teeny babies. And you're a mother, you're a grandmother, and you've worked with lots of children, whether they were your own or someone else's. How has your background influenced the information in this book?
For one thing, I got to see and experience the interaction between a lot of people and see how different it is just between the moms and dads and how they interact. It's encouraged me to move on and know that I can be of help to others because I've just researched it so deeply and tried it out with my own grandkids. And I know there's a way that we can better communicate with each other and be aware of someone else's needs.
Yeah. And something that you also did with these books is, so you have, your main book, and this is giving you the tips and the tricks, but you also have the workbook too, where people can take notes and they can write about how they can do these things. Tell me a little bit more about the workbook.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't want you to read this book. I want you to experience it. I just would pick up books or go to conferences and hope for the magic to happen. And somehow I would magically know and now all of a sudden be all better. But it's not how it works. We have to actually put what we learn into action. And so what I would love is that you read the first 2 chapters, and by chapter 3, the workbook is involved, and it guides you through to actually go through the steps of discovery. And that's what this book is about. It's not about reading it, it's about living it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that it's interactive. And you also have one that's the full, complete interactive, where it's here's the work that you're doing, read, understand the concept, now practice the concept. Right. So where did you come up with the thought of this being a book? Balancing screen time, I know that's a passion for you, right?
Yeah. My grandkids, they are the love of my life, and they have just been really impacted by screen time. And if I can figure out how to maybe make it a little bit of a difference here and there, then maybe I can help others realize that they don't have to be lost in technology. They can balance it out and have some real life and technology, because it's just part of our lives. So, I just want to, help as many people that desire to find that way and find that balance.
Yeah. I love that. And I think that's something that all of those that care for children, whether it may be as a profession or a parent or aunt, grandparent, that's something that we all have to try to balance. I mean, I know myself, I have kids that are 12 and under, and screens are a big thing. I remember thinking, as a young parent, and I'm sure you saw this all the time with your patients that you were helping, we have these ideals like, oh, I'm never going to have my kids play on a tablet or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then real life happens and we
Yes.
realize screen times are important. But do you talk about how you're balancing family screen time? So is it something you can also do together as a family?
It's exactly what we do. We actually make a plan as a family. And the very first step is called alternate activities. They don't even know you're balancing screen time, but you've taken the time to stop and make sure that there is a time in your week, in your day, where you actually plan an activity. They don't need their phones. Actually, the rule eventually should become the phones don't come with the activity, but you spend that time playing together, doing stuff together, and all of a sudden they're off their screen time for 2 hours that day. So it's a big first step. It's easy. And it's just a matter of our becoming aware and planning that into our lives.
Yeah, I really like that. And I want to show a graphic that it is in your books that really, I mean, these are some of the worksheet pages, but you have this cool heart graphic that I want to show. Tell me a little bit more about this confidence heart.
So, anytime we try to help our family and adjust and try to change things, you get a lot of resistance. And the heart is there. So each chapter adds a few more reminders of what you've learned, and that to kind of bolster you up and say, by the way, you know this, you have this behind you, it's in your toolbox, and you can use this to move on. And don't get discouraged, because it's difficult, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think it's fun to see, it's more than just one piece. It's a puzzle that we're all
Totally.
working on putting together.
Yes.
What would be, a good first step that somebody could start with if they're just trying to decrease the screen time and have a little bit more family time? What could be like a good first step?
Number one, the alternate activities. But number two, we need to be aware of our screen time. We're the example. I tried something as simple as, how people are on their phones and they don't look at you while they're talking to you. Mm-hmm. And it's just not cool, to say the truth. So my goal for a week was to make sure that I stopped looking at a screen, whether it was a TV or my phone, when somebody was talking to me and we were interacting. That was hard. It was just not something we were used to. We're used to multitasking. So I'd keep on going. Then all of a sudden my brain would go, wait, you're supposed to put your phone down. So, we need to be aware of our own habits when it's related to screen time. And that's a big piece in the book as well.
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's something like, I think when I go to take my kids to swim lessons or to the park, I am totally guilty of this. Sitting there, they're doing something and I'm looking at my phone. I'm not out there in the playground with them. Now, swim lessons, they're with their teacher, but like they get so excited when I'm watching them.
Oh, yes.
And, anyone that's had a child perform, that's like, does the whole waving, when they're on stage. Yes. What if I had been looking at my phone during that moment that they were waving at me?
Right. And being acknowledged is like huge to all of us. We all need to have that tap on the back, and being seen. It's like a huge piece of our self-worth.
Yeah. I agree. Well, where can our viewers go, Elizabeth, to, see your books and learn more about you?
Well, we do have a webpage, ElizabethDJDensley.com, because I do a lot of this with my grandson. And that would be our author page. You can also find us on Balancing Screen Time on Instagram. And you can find us on Facebook. You can ask for balancing screen time or reconnecting as a family, and you'll find that page. It is the Elizabeth and Jenny Lynn at Facebook.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. And, I'm excited to continue working on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your help as well.
Yeah. And thank you to our viewers. We'll see you next time.
Bye.